the forbidden knowledge.
You should not have seen her.
The old man's voice was barely above a whisper, but it carried through the dimly lit hut like thunder. His eyes, clouded with age but sharp with wisdom, locked onto mine.
Mami Wata does not just appear, she chooses.
I swallowed hard. My hands were still shaking from what had happened to Jules. His empty eyes haunted me every time I closed mine. The village had buried him, but nobody spoke of him. It was like he never existed. But I remembered. Papa Simon remembered, and the river remembered. The call of the river. Ever since that night, I had not been the same. Water followed me. At first, it was small things. Drops on my forehead when I woke up. Even when the roof was dry, my footprints stayed wet longer than they should. Then, the dream started. Every night, I was back on the Wouri River. The black water stretched forever, and in the middle of it, she stood, smiling.
Viens.
She whispered, her voice slipping into my bones like cold air.
Tu es à moi.
I always woke up before she could reach me, heart pounding, drenched in sweat that smelled like the river. Papa Simon noticed.
We need to see Tonton André,
he said one morning after finding me outside, staring at the river like I had forgotten how I got there.
He knows things you need to hear.
Tonton André was the village storyteller, but the way people spoke about him, it was like he was something else. Some called him Nguema, a man who had seen too much, who knew things humans were not meant to know. The story that should not be told. Tonton André's hut was deep in the village, away from the river, hidden between ancient trees. The air inside was thick with the smell of burning herbs.
Mami Wata,
he said, staring at the fire pit in front of him.
She is older than this village, older than the river, and she is never alone.
Papa Simon stayed quiet, letting him speak.
Long ago, before the first boats touched these waters, before the first men built their homes here, the river belonged to her. She is the keeper of the deep, the mother of all who swim, the hunger that never fades.
He turned to me.
She does not take without reason. You saw her and you lived. That means she wants something from you.
I felt cold all over.
What does she want?
He leaned in closer, his voice barely above a breath.
Tu entends l'eau la nuit?
Do you hear the water at night? I nodded.
Then you already know.
Marked. The fire crackled. Shadows danced along the hut's walls.
Many years ago, a boy like you saw her.
He continued.
He thought he escaped, but she does not forget. Bit by bit, the river took him back.
What happened to him? I asked, my voice dry. Tonton André's face darkened.
He became part of the river.
I shivered. Listen to me, garçon, he said, gripping my wrist. His fingers felt colder than they should.
She will come again. Not in your dreams, not in whispers. She will come in the water, in the wind, in the pull of the river. And when she does...
He trailed off. His grip tightened.
Ne la regarde pas.
Don't look at her. The fire in front of us flickered violently, and in the silence I heard something outside. A splash, a slow ripple. The river was calling, and this time I wasn't sure I could resist.